película y nos acompaña esta tarde el señor Jesse Garcia. Un fuerte aplauso. Bienvenido a la Ciudad de México, Jesse. Nuestra invitada nació en Corpus Christi, Texas. Ella es una prominente productora, directora y actriz. En el 2004 la conocimos como la indómita Gabriel Solís, un personaje que la convirtió en una de las figuras más icónicas de la televisión gracias a la serie Desperate Housewife. Por este trabajo recibió ella nominación al Globo de Oro y también para el Screen Actors Guild Awards. Ha sido productora de proyectos también como Telenovela y Devious Mates, los cuales han sido generador de empleos para el talento latino que radica en los Estados Unidos. Ha participado en películas como Frontera, Lowriders, un cuento de circo, en el Love Song. Por cierto, esta película es dirigida por Demian Bichir. Y actualmente la podemos ver como productora y conductora del programa de televisión titulado Eva Longoria Searching for México. Acompáñenme a darle la bienvenida a Eva Longoria.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hola, hola Eva, hola Jessy.
Sandy quiere estar con nosotros.
Bienvenido.
Ven a sentar conmigo.
Tomen asiento, amigos. Eva, sé que anoche pasó algo espectacular en la Casa Blanca.
Sí.
Quiero que nos platiques del suceso que vivieron anoche, el cual pues es muy importante para todos los latinos.
Sí.
¿Quiere popcorn?
¿Palomitas? Pops, ok. No, fue un honor para mí estar en la Casa Blanca con mi primer película. Qué emoción. Y era la primera película sobre temas de nuestra comunidad, sobre the first Hispanic themed movie. Y sí, yo estaba flipando. Yo voy a hablar en Spanglish porque cuando estoy en México
se puede hablar en Spanglish aquí.
Tengo miedo. Siempre Santi está corrigiéndome, ¿no?
Oye, ¿cómo nace este proyecto? ¿Cómo llega a tus manos, mejor dicho?
Bueno, yo leí el guión. Richard Montañez hizo un libro y en Hollywood estaba un bidding war con todos los estudios que querían hacer su historia, su película. Pero cuando yo llegué, mi agente me mandó el guión, yo leí y yo estaba sorprendida que yo no sabía esta historia. Él es mexicano-americano, yo soy mexicano-americano y yo tenía tantas ganas de contar su historia y yo estaba fascinada porque la película no es del Flamin Hachiro, es sobre la vida de este hombre, Richard Montañez, quien era el limpiador de una fábrica de Frito-Lay y terminó como un ejecutivo de la compañía y tenía muchos obstáculos. ¿Es that right?
Sí, muchos desafíos.
I just made that up. Obstáculos y su camino está increíble y podemos aprender muchas cosas de Richard Montañez.
En las notas de producción dicen esto, Eva. Flamin' Hot, it's not about a brand. It's not only a success story. It's a film about the power of faith, family. It's a story about chill of the spirit.
Sí, bueno, por fin yo gané el trabajo a dirigir esta película. Yo estaba con Richard y Judy, y yo sabía que yo quería hacer una carta de amor para nuestra comunidad mexicana en Estados Unidos. Todos los mexicanos americanos que están trabajando muy, son luchadores ahí, trabajadores ahí, y somos muchos latinos en Estados Unidos y nuestras historias son parte del país. Y yo sabía, yo tenía un vision para la película que yo quería hacer y yo creo que es la razón que yo gané el trabajo a dirigir, porque yo era la única que yo quería poner una imagen que nuestra comunidad podía ver como reflejada, ¿no?, en la pantalla.
Pepe me contó algo por demás entrañable, que es, pichaste la película, o sea, hiciste una presentación a ejecutivos de tu propuesta, ¿no? Y la ganaste, por default, como decimos aquí los mexicanos.
Sí, bueno, yo tenía tantas ganas de dirigir y hacer esta historia, y yo sabía el impacto que puede tener, y yo tenía miedo si alguien diferente hizo, que they're gonna mess it up. Porque no tenemos muchas oportunidades en Hollywood. Hollywood dice quiénes héroes, y no tenemos héroes que se ven como nosotros, que se ven como mi papá, como mi tío, y yo quería ser parte de una película así que puede tener tanto impacto en society.
Eva, yo creo que uno de los puntos a reconocer aquí es el trabajo del señor Garcia. No me imagino otro intérprete caracterizando a Richard Montañez, de verdad. Y muchas felicidades. Y me dio gusto ver esta película después de verte enseñar en el 2006 en el Festival de Cine de Morelia. Jesse, did you get to meet Richard Montañez, actually Richard Montañez, and what advice that he say to you, something special?
Yeah, I did, and he said, "Don't fuck it up." I got to meet him for a couple hours before we started shooting the movie, and we just talked about life, his family, about work, about stuff he carried in his pocket at work, and about his past life, about his life as a gangster, and how he grew up, my main purpose of meeting with him is to kind of make sure that he felt comfortable and put him at ease that we were going to tell his story and bring honor to his family. Yeah, and so I also told him I said I wasn't going to do an imitation of you. I wasn't going to do a mimic. I wasn't going to mimic your movements, your voice, your walk, anything. I was going to do my version of your story, which is like, oh, okay. So, you know, when we ended up doing the movie and they came out to set, there was a scene that you guys will see. It's where they're in the car and I'm about to get arrested. Richard's about to get arrested, and they were Richard and Judy and the family were watching on Video Village, watching us work, and they call cut, and we go around to see everybody, and everyone's crying. Like Judy's crying. It's like, oh my God, that's what I would say. That's what I did. And Richard hugged me, and he was crying. He goes, I didn't get it before, but I get it now. I get what you guys are doing. I see the bigger puzzle that you guys are putting together.
You really deliver, man. It's terrific your work on the film.
No, and it was very hard to find an actor who could do 4 decades. You know, you'll see he plays 4 different decades. Comedy, drama. You know, Richard's very smart, but he's uneducated. He's very funny and witty, but he's very vulnerable and dangerous still. So the only person who could do all of those things was Jesse Garcia.
Yeah, but there's something I want to ask to you especially. There's something that really doesn't make sense. As Latin people, we are consumers of cinema. We're a bunch of it in the United States. But Latin projects are just few. So it doesn't make sense at all. Don't you think that?
Yeah, of course. I also think, you know, we don't get the opportunities. That's why the success of this movie matters. Not just for Flaming Hot, for future movies. Because if a movie doesn't do well, they go, oh, Latino stories don't work, a Latina director doesn't work, and then it's another 20 years before we get another movie. We can't have a movie every 20 years. And we have amazing stories from our community. We're amazing storytellers. And I think there's a little bit of onus on the audience as well. Like when you have something like Flaming Hot, support it, push play, because you're not just pushing play on a movie, you're voting, and that's your voice to say yes. You know, yes, we want more of this.
Exactly.
Soy latino.
No, ¿eres latino o mexicano?
Soy mexicano, cabrones.
Oh my God. I didn't, Pepe taught him that.
Whose fault is... So
that's the highlight of the whole
That was the highlight of the whole press tour. So every time we push play, it's like we are voting for our culture,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, and you have to support, you know, these films because, you know, Latinos are going to the movie anyway. They're watching Star Wars and Top Gun.
Exactly.
And
Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah, and so when a movie like this comes along, Flaming Hot, that's about us, it's actually about us for everybody. You know, and it's about, you know, a Mexican American and his journey, but we did International Press Day with Ireland, France, Italy, Germany, and the movie's doing amazing in these territories. And I said, do you have Flaming Hot Cheetos? And they said, no. But it doesn't matter because Richard's journey and the themes of the movie are very universal.
Yeah.
So that's what we need. We need stories about us for everybody.
Exactly. Amigos, les cuento algo aquí entre nos. Es la apertura más grande que ha tenido una película de Searchlight en la plataforma.
Yeah.
The biggest opening. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To you guys.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Jesse Garcia, just want to know how's Eva Longoria as a director?
She's bossy. What she wants, she gets. It was great. You know, Eva coming from an actor's background and knowing how to talk to us and knowing what we have to do to prep, that this was going to be a daunting task, the movie, because it was we shot very fast. We shot a TV schedule, very, very ambitious for the amount of scenes that we wanted to do in a very short amount of time. And we did it, you know. She's told us that before we started, it's like, we're going to go to war. We need everybody to be ready every day. And then on top of that, we brought our own colors and spices to the movie and the characters ourselves. So it was the support system that we had, and Eva and I had absolute trust in each other. And you know, if I had ideas, she'd go, yeah, let's try it. And if she had ideas, I'm like, oh, let's go, let's see what happens. You know, to have that kind of trust with between an actor and a director, especially, is rare, because if one doesn't have the trust for the other one's going to take over.
And we also knew we had an immense responsibility to do a great movie. We had zero room for error because we know we don't.
Zero room
for error. We had to get the schedule. We had to get it right. We had to portray the Mexican community correctly. We had to get everything right, because if we got it wrong, we wouldn't get another chance. And Jesse showed up every day, really carrying that on his back, you know, and going, I've got to show up, I got to do justice, not only to Richard's story, but for a community of people who don't get to see themselves reflected back on screen. And so he took a lot of that responsibility on himself every day, as we all did. You know, we had an almost entire Latino crew detrás de la cámara. So that was something we were proud of as well.
Latin power all over. Bueno, amigos, vamos a abrir, let's open the conversation.